to my YouTube channel, guys. So in today's video, I'll be doing a technical analysis, or let me say technical breakdown on some pairs. So I will kick off with Bitcoin. So as you can see, the trend of this market is to the upside. So Bitcoin was moving to the upside on the weekly time frame. So of course, we are going to be looking for buying opportunity. So this was the first touch of the trend line, this was the second touch, and this was the third touch. So for a trend line to be valid, a trend line will need to have a minimum of 2 touch. So the third touch is the one that you will be using for a trade entry. So if a trend line like this have the first touch and the second touch, so you are going to be waiting for price to come back down into the trend line and touch it for the third time to use it for a trade entry. So now on the weekly time frame, so price was trending to the upside, and when price got here, price created this drop top pattern, and then price starts rejecting, like price starts coming back down. And when price got into this trend line here, as you can see, this trend line was acting as a support level when price got into it. So now price come into this trend line, and also there was a Fibonacci. So if I draw my Fibonacci from swing low to swing high like this, so price have come inside the Fibonacci zone like this. So in an uptrend like this, if price come into the 50 and 61% Fibonacci and the trend line, so price will be moving to the upside. So now what I'm waiting for on Bitcoin is that I'm expecting price to continue pushing to the upside into this area, into this black zone, into this blue zone, I mean. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue pushing higher. So but on the daily time frame, there was, so now this was the level where this was the Fibonacci level and the trend line when price got here and price starts heading higher. So now, but on the daily time frame, the trend of the daily time frame is to the downside. So the daily trend was moving to the downside, as you can see. This black line represents the daily trend. So now price is creating lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low on the daily time frame. So now I'm going to wait for this trend to align. So I'm going to wait for this daily trend to align with the weekly trend. So what I'm waiting for on Bitcoin now is, as you can see, price. So I'm expecting price to break above this level, this trend line area, this daily trend line, and this support and resistance level. So if price broke it to the upside like this and come back down to retest this level, so I'll be looking for buying opportunity at this region, and I'll be targeting this blue zone. So now I'm just waiting for my daily trend to align with the weekly trend on Bitcoin. So now that's what I'll be waiting for. If price could break this black line, this resistance level, and this trend line, then I'll be looking for buying opportunity after price broke out and then retest. So I'll be looking for buying opportunities on Bitcoin at the moment, but the direction of this market is to the upside. So I'll just be waiting for this daily trend to align with the weekly trend to start looking for buying opportunity on Bitcoin. So that's my take on Bitcoin at the moment. So just a break and retest of this trend line and the resistance level, then I start looking for buying opportunity into this next level. But if this zone, if price could get rejected from this trend line and this support level, this resistance level, if price could get rejected from this area and then start heading back down, so I'm waiting for price to break, like to start seeing some rejection around this region. So I might be looking for selling opportunity, but let me say I'm 70% bullish on this trade because the weekly trend is to the upside, and so I'm just waiting for everything to line up. So after price broke above, then retest, then I'll be looking for buying opportunity on Bitcoin. So that's my view on Bitcoin, and that's what I thought is going to happen. So the next pair is USD So I'll be looking at USD. So the direction of this market on the weekly and on the monthly time frame is to the downside. So USD have been trending to the downside for quite some time. So as you can see, price was creating lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And when price got to this region, price creates a triple top. So this was the, as you can see, price was unable to break above this level. So this was the first attempt. When price come here, price got rejected, and also here too, same thing happened here. When price goes here, price got rejected and then start moving to the downside, and the same thing happened here too. So price was unable to break above this level. So now the direction of this market on the monthly and on the weekly time frame is still bearish. So now I'm only looking for selling opportunity since the direction of the market is bearish, and there was a counter trend line around this region that got broken. So of course price was trending to the upside around this region, so price was creating higher highs and higher low around this region, but price have broken out of this trend. So now the direction of this market is to the downside. I'm only looking for selling opportunity. So what is currently happening is that now price was sitting at the support level. So price was at a support level around this region. Now on the daily time frame, if the daily trend is to the downside, so you can clearly see that the daily trend is to the downside. So price was creating lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and this seems like another lower high. So what I'm waiting for is I'm expecting price to come back into this trend line area and this resistance level. So now this is what I'm expecting on USD I'm expecting price to retrace back into this trend line area, and there was a Fibonacci around that region as well. So this is what I'm waiting for now. I'm expecting price to retrace back to the upside to create a higher low around this region. So if price can come into this resistance level and this trend line, then I'll be shorting the market from this level. So this is going to be where I'll be shorting USD from, since this was the point of interest. So I'm going to be shorting it from here, and I'll be taking my profits at this next major support level. So if price could retrace back up like this and come into this zone, so I'll be shorting the market to this major resistance level. So when price got here, I would have already moved my stop loss to break even. When price got into this blue zone around here, I would have already moved my stop loss to break even and be taking my profits here. So now I'm just waiting for a retracement so that to follow this daily trend, since the overall direction of the market is to the downside. So I'll just be looking to sell after price retrace and create a higher high and create a higher low around this region. So if price retrace, create a higher low, then I'll be shorting the market to the downside and I'll be following the overall direction of the market. So that's what I thought is going to happen on USD as well. So to the last pair, so the last pair is New Zealand NZD card. So I'm already short on this trade, but let me show you guys how I do it. So how I got into this trade. The direction of the market, like I always do, I always go on the weekly and on the monthly time frame to check the direction of the market, so that way I will know where price is heading and I will be able to trade in that direction. So now this market have been trending to the downside, so price have been creating lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and low. So this trend is still to the downside. So what happened now and how I got into this trade is simple. On the weekly time frame, I see this. So this was a lower high, this was a low, this was a lower high, and this was a low. Though this low is equal to this low, price does not create a lower low. But if so, now price was trading to the downside and price was still in a range around this region. So price was ranging around this region, price was moving sideways. So now the reason why I got into this trade is because of this trend. So now this was a lower high. So if we are using this trend like this structure, so this was a lower high, this was a low, and this was another lower high. So now what makes me get into this trade is, so now price retrace to create a lower high around this region. So I can see this high is lower than this previous high, so this seems like a lower high, and there was still a minor level around this region. So I draw this level on the daily time frame. So now there was a minor level around this region, so I'm expecting price to come into that zone. And the main reason why I got into this trade is because of this Fibonacci. So this Fibonacci was lining up with this key level. As you can see, price, this 50% Fibonacci was in line with this resistance level. So That give me enough confidence to get into this trade, since the direction of the market is to the downside and price creates a lower high, come back down to create a low, and this seems like the next lower high. And also it was lining up with a trend line, it was lining up with a resistance level and the Fibonacci. So that's why I got into this trade after I start seeing some bearish candlestick around this region. So that's how I got into the trade, and there was a trend line in which the market was respecting around this region. And so as you can see, when price broke this trend line, so this seems like a break and retest of this trend line. So after price got into this trend line, price retest it and then got here, got rejected, and then start trending to the downside. So that's how I got into this trade on the 4-hour time frame. So if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and like. So that's it for today, guys. Bye.